to recording. And this wonderful announcement that you're all sick of hearing about. The following Zoom session is being recorded and will appear later today on my YouTube channel, Math with Mayo. There are 2 different classes that may be observing this session. Therefore, when you participate in the Zoom meeting, if you do not wish for your picture or your name to be made public, please leave the video off and use an alias name. If you have questions during the meeting but do not wish to speak, email me at bmail@ybcc.edu and I'll respond as soon as I can. Okay, let's see. I just want to make sure of something here. Yes, I did start the recording. Never sure about that. So we're going to take a look at section 5.7. Okay. Which is titled Special Products. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to go back and look at something at the beginning of this chapter. If I have a product like 2a raised to a power, let's say the 3rd power, this is equal to 2 cubed times a cubed, or 8a cubed. So if you have a product raised to a power, you attach that power to each factor of the product, okay? But what if you've got something like this? This is not a product raised to a power. This is a sum raised to a power. So what we have to do is we have to expand this product, okay? In fact, let's back up for a minute and let's just take a look at 2 cubed. What does that mean? 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2, which ultimately is 8, right? So x plus 1, the quantity squared, is x plus 1 times x plus 1. So the first thing we're going to do to this sum raised to a power is to expand it, okay? Well, now we're going to FOIL those 2 binomials together. So we get x squared plus x plus 1. Combining like terms, x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay. I want to point out again, this is not equal to x squared plus 1 squared. Okay. So you can't do that because this is not a product. So you have to expand it 2 factors of x plus 1 and then FOIL it together. All right, let's take a look at some more examples. Let's say I've got y plus 7, the quantity squared. So that becomes y plus 7 times y plus 7. Then you get y squared plus 7y plus 7y, whoops, plus, got ahead of myself there, 49. Which is y squared plus 14y plus 49. Let's take a look at another example. 6y plus 3, the quantity squared, is 6y plus 3 times 6y plus 3, which is 36y squared plus 18y plus 18y plus 9. Combining like terms, 36y squared plus 36y plus 9. Okay. Let's see here. How about this one? D plus 0.2, the quantity squared, which is d plus 0.2 times d plus 0.2. D times d is d squared. D times 0.2 is 0.2d plus 0.2 times d is 0.2d plus, 0.2 times 0.2 is going to be what, 0.04, right? Not 0.4. Remember, we move it over 1, 2 places. So then we get d squared plus 0.2 plus 0.2 is 0.4, d plus 0.04. Okay. Let's see here. Let's deal with some fractions. Y minus 5/3 the quantity squared is y minus 5/3 times y minus 5/3. Foiling it together, we get y squared minus 5/3 y minus 5/3 y, and then minus times minus is plus 25/9, the 5 times the 5 in the numerator and the 3 times the 3 in the denominator. Combining like terms, y squared, let's see, minus 5/3 y minus 5/3 y would be minus 10/3 y plus 25/9. Now, I can't reduce 10 over 3. I could change it to a mixed number, but as I warned you yesterday, don't use mixed numbers in WebAssign. So reduce it if you can, but leave it as a fraction rather than a mixed number, as an improper fraction rather than a mixed number. Okay, now let's raise the stakes a little. What if we've got x plus 4 the quantity cubed? That becomes x plus 4 times x plus 4 times a third factor of x plus 4, because we have 3 factors of the base being the quantity x plus 4. But again, as we did earlier, we can only multiply 2 together at once. So we'll do the first 2, which is going to be what? X squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16. But I'm going to combine like terms in that first set of parentheses, x squared plus 8x plus 16, and then take that result times the third factor. Okay, so then we get x cubed plus 4x squared plus 8x squared plus 32x plus 16x plus 64, which is x cubed plus 12x squared plus what, 48x plus 64. So we get this huge polynomial. But again, x plus 4 cubed is not equal to x cubed plus 4 cubed. That's the common wrong answer I see on tests and homework. Don't go there. All righty. Let's see here. Now we're going to kind of mix up operations. And so we've got 2 times the quantity x squared plus 7x minus 1, and then minus 3 times the quantity x squared minus 2x plus 2. Okay, so we're going to start out by multiplying, that is by distributing. So we're going to get 2x squared plus 14x minus 2. So we're distributing the 2 there. Then moving on, we're going to distribute the minus 3. So minus 3 times x squared is minus 3x squared. Minus 3 times minus 2x is plus 6x. And minus 3 times plus 2 is minus 6. All right. So we've done the multiplication, order of operations, multiplication and division, whichever comes first, left to right. Then addition and subtraction, whichever comes first, left to right. Here we're going to combine like terms. Those go together, and those go together. 2x squared minus 3x squared is negative 1x squared, or just negative x squared. 14x plus 6x is plus 20x, and minus 2 times, or plus minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8. I'm getting confused on what operation's going on here. All right. How about, let's see here. How about this one? Y plus 6 times y minus 6. So we get y squared minus 6y plus 6y minus 36. Combining like terms, the middle two terms cancel each other out, don't they? Let's take a look at another example. 5t plus 4, 5t minus 4. So we get 25t squared minus 20t plus 20t minus 16. Again, combining like terms, the middle terms cancel each other out. Well, notice there's a pattern here. The first problem, we have the sum of two numbers times the difference of the same two numbers in the same order, variables and numbers. The second one, same thing. We've got the sum of two terms times the difference of the same two terms in the same order, okay? When we FOIL or multiply them out, the two middle terms cancel out, and we end up with a binomial, okay? This is called the difference of two squares, because my answer has a square minus a square minus a square. When do you get that? You get that when you have this situation or this situation, and these are called a conjugate pair, where you have the sum of two numbers times the difference, or the sum of two terms times the difference of two terms. Okay, or you can have the difference of the two terms times the sum. It doesn't matter which one's first, because multiplication is commutative. Okay, while we're on that, let me remind you. So y plus 6 times y minus 6 is equal to y minus 6 times y plus 6, right? You can switch the order of the factors and you get the same result. Okay, now let's take a look at this problem. 5a minus 1 quantity squared minus the quantity a minus 8 times a plus 8. All right, we need to be very careful. First of all, 5a minus 1, the quantity squared, is 5a minus 1 times 5a minus 1. And then we've got minus the quantity a minus 8 times a plus 8. Okay. So I'm going to multiply these two together first, which is going to give me 25a squared minus 5a minus 5a plus 1, negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1. Combining like terms, 25a squared minus 10a plus 1. Okay, so that's that first product. Now, here's where we've got to be careful. We are subtracting this whole thing. We're subtracting that whole thing. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to find that whole thing. That is the a minus 8 times a plus 8, okay? Which is going to be a squared plus 8a minus 8a minus 64. The middle terms cancel out. So there's that difference of two squares. But I'm subtracting the whole result. So I've got to subtract the quantity. I need to quantify this and this and this and this, so that I distribute the subtraction sign like this: minus a squared minus times minus plus 64. Because if you write this and you don't quantify it, you're not going to pick up the correct sign on that end term. So you're subtracting a product, you're subtracting a product, you're subtracting a product, you're subtracting a product, then distribute to the product. If it seems like I'm going on and on about this, it's because this is a common mistake that your predecessors made. But we don't want you to do that. All right. Combining like terms, 25a squared minus a squared is 24a squared minus 10a and then plus 65. So there is that lovely answer. All righty. Let's see here. How are we doing? We got lots of time. Let's take a look at this one. 8y times the quantity x squared plus y squared times x squared minus y squared. All right. Before we do this problem, let's review. Let's say I have 2 times 3 times 4. Okay. We tend to multiply from left to right. So we'd go 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4 is 24, right? But multiplication is commutative. So I could take 2 times 3 times 4 and write it as 2 times 4 times 3. Or I could take 2 times 3 times 4 and write it as 3 times 2 times 4. Or I could take this and I could write it like this. In other words, if I've got a string of factors being multiplied together, I can rearrange those factors, as long as they're all factors, in any order I want. Okay, why does that matter? Well, let's go back to this problem. If I look closely, this is that conjugate pair. So if I multiply those together first, I'm going to get rid of a bunch of stuff, which is nice. And then I could take the 8y and distribute it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say 8y times, and then this is going to be x to the 4th minus x squared y squared plus x squared y squared minus y to the 4th. Those two cancel out. 8y times the quantity x to the 4th, y to the 4th. Then distributing 8x to the 4th y minus 8y to the 5th. Do you want me to go back and do it the other way and take the 8y times the first one, get the result, and take that times the second one to show you that you get the same answer, or does anyone even care? I'll take that as no one even cares. All right. But again, if you do these first, you've got to take 8y times that whole product. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do this one. 8x to the 4th minus 3, the quantity squared. So that's 8x to the 4th minus 3 times 8x to the 4th minus 3, which is 64x to the 8th minus 24x to the 4th minus 24x to the 4th plus 9. Combining like terms, 64x to the 8th minus 48x to the 4th plus 9. Now you've got to really be careful here, because in this problem here, when we multiply, we add the exponents to get 64x to the 4th. But here, when we add or subtract, we just add or subtract the coefficients, okay? We don't add the exponents there. So again, you've got to be really careful, keep track of what operation you are performing at the time, okay? All right, let's see here. T squared minus u squared, the quantity squared, which is t squared minus u squared times t squared minus u squared, which is t to the 4th minus t squared u squared minus t squared u squared plus u to the fourth, which is t to the fourth minus 2t squared u squared plus u to the fourth. Okay, let's do some more kind of reviewing just to remind you, if you have xy, the quantity squared, versus x plus y, the quantity squared. The first one, you have a product raised to a power, so you get x squared, y squared. The second one, you have a sum or a difference raised to a power, so you do not get x squared plus y squared. You get x plus y times x plus y, which is x squared plus xy plus yx, which is also xy plus y squared, x squared plus 2xy, combining like terms, plus y squared. So again, make sure you see the difference between those two ideas. All right, well, that's all I've got for you today. Are there any questions before we stop the recording? Anybody, anything? Give you time to unmute your mute button if you need to.
I have a question, but it's on the last two questions for section 5.5 for the homework.
Sure, we can look at that now. Okay. Do you want me to bring up WebAssign, or do you want to just tell me what they are? What do you want to do?
If you want to bring it up, yes.
Okay, give me just a minute here. And let's see here. And I know you can't see it yet, but you will eventually. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Sarah, did you say 5.5?
Yes.
Okay. And which problems? Let's see, the three that you haven't finished yet. So what, 20 and 21?
Yes.
Okay, 20 and 21. All right. So can you now see WebAssign?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at number 20. It says, consider the following drawing. Okay, so we've got this drawing of a house or what, some kind of building. It says, let a of x equal x squared minus x plus 6, b of x equal 4x plus 3, c of x equals x squared minus 6x plus 4, and d of x equals 3x plus 1. So what we're going to do, we're going to substitute. Can you see my cursor up there? We're going to substitute all of
Yes,
that.
I can see it.
Okay, we're going to substitute all of that for these values down here. All right, it says, what is the difference in the length and width of the one-bedroom apartment shown above? Simplify your answer. Okay, so let me reconstruct that drawing somewhat, and then we'll talk about it. So let's see here. Okay. So a of x, which is in the lower right-hand corner, is x squared minus x plus 6. B of x is 4x plus 3. C of x is x squared minus 6x plus 4. And d of x is 3x plus 1. Okay. So now I'm going to switch back to my whiteboard screen. So I've replaced the a of x through d of x with their actual polynomial values. Okay. Now, the first question says, what is the difference in the length and width of a one-bedroom apartment shown? It also says that this is the length and this is the width. Okay. So the length, we'd add those two together and we'd get what? X squared plus 3x plus 9. Everybody see where I got the length?
Yes.
The width would be, oops, sorry, I hit the keyboard there. The width would be x squared minus 3x plus 5. All right. So now it says, what is the difference in the length and width? So we're going to take the length, oops, this is 3x. The length, x squared plus 3x plus 9 minus the width. Okay, what have I done wrong there? Buddy? I'm going to, go ahead, bud. No? Okay. I'm going to subtract the entire width. So I've got to quantify that and distribute the subtraction sign through the whole thing. Okay? So that's the problem you got to deal with. So x squared plus 3x plus 9.
Is that where you act like there is a -1 in front of it?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like you're going to distribute. So you're going to get minus x squared, minus times minus is plus 3x, and then minus 5. Okay? Now, I could have quantified this first one as well, but with nothing in front of it, you get the same thing when you bring it out. But when you've got that subtraction sign, you've got to quantify parentheses, the whole thing, and then distribute. Okay? So now these are going to cancel out. I'm going to get 6x plus 4. And the units were feet. Okay? So the difference in the length and the width is the quantity 6x plus 4 feet. We okay with that?
Yes, I think what I was missing was the that part where we have to distribute.
Gotcha, gotcha. Part B says find the perimeter of the apartment. Okay? So the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. All right? Well, this is the length and this is the width. I'm going to transfer those to the next page. The perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. The length was x squared plus 3x plus 9, x squared plus 3x plus 9. The width was x squared minus 3x plus 5, x squared minus 3x plus 5. Everybody okay with that? All right, so now I've got 2x squared plus 6x plus 18 plus 2x squared minus 6x plus 10, which is 4x squared, those cancel out, plus 28, and that is also feet. Any questions on that?
No, it makes sense now.
All right, and then you wanted to look at 21 as well?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a look at 21. So we've got this pulley system, and it says the length of a fan belt that wraps around 3 pulleys is 3x squared plus 19x plus 4.5 pi inches. So that is the total distance all the way around it, okay? So the whole thing, so I'm going to say total equals 3x squared plus 19x plus 4.5 pi inches, okay? Find a polynomial that represents the unknown length of a part of the belt shown in the illustration below. Okay, so we're told the whole thing, and then they describe each piece, but this piece isn't described, it's unknown. So what we've got to do, we've got to add up all of the known pieces, okay? Subtract that from the total, and that'll give us the unknown piece. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to start down here and I'm going to go clockwise. Okay, so starting down there, I've got 2 pi plus x squared plus 5x plus pi plus x squared minus 3x plus 1.5 pi. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back to the whiteboard screen. Maybe. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to add all of these up. Let's see. I've got an x squared plus an x squared, which is 2x squared. I've got a 5x minus 3x, which is plus 2x. And then I've got 2 pi plus 1 pi is 3 pi, plus 1.5 pi is plus 4.5 pi. And that's inches. Okay. So the total is this. All of the known pieces are that. If I take this away from the total, what is left will be that unknown piece. Okay. So I'm going to take 3x squared plus 19x plus 4.5 pi minus the quantity 2x squared plus 2x plus 4.5 pi. And again, you're subtracting the whole quantity. So this becomes 3x squared plus 19x plus 4.5 pi minus 2x squared minus 2x minus 4.5 pi. Combining like terms, we get x squared plus 17x, and the pi cancels. So I've got x squared plus 17x inches. Don't forget the units though. In WebAssign, in fact, let's go back for a minute and look at the WebAssign part. In the last 2 problems we did, they included the units outside. So be careful, because if they include the units outside, but you also put them inside, it's not going to recognize that and it's going to mark it wrong. So pay attention. Sometimes the units are already there. Sometimes you have to include the units. Okay. We'll go back here to the work. All right with that?
Yes, I think I just need to remind myself that I have to distribute when there is a negative sign.
Right, when you're subtracting. Okay, any other questions from anybody before we go? All righty, well, I will stop the recording. And keep in mind, so there's no class tomorrow. Monday, we're going to wrap up this chapter. We'll take a look at section 5.8. And then Tuesday, we will review and you'll take your test over chapter 5, what is it, 5.4 through 5.8. Okay.